Mark and Ashley Frostrom's bird farm. They got quite a bit of birds here. A lot of waterfowl. There's emus. There's a bunch of pheasants. Some parrots. What else? A little bit of everything. Kangaroo. And they've got a really nice setup on the waterfowl pond.
The reason that I do it this way is because we use a lot of debris to build the, you know, how we want it to be. It's like busted up bricks and block and
So this is mostly like trash that's put in there and you're just coating it with.
Yeah. The waterfall itself is a stone. So yeah, it was a big tree that got cut down out of this before we built this pen, and then it was starting to rot out, and then so we just cover it up in mortar, and then, you know, if the stump rots out from underneath of it over the years, it's not going to change anything because the mortar's on there 4, 5, 6 inches thick. But yeah, that's
so like this is several bags. It's like 2 bags of concrete for a rock, right?
Yeah. Might get you a little farther than that, but yeah, that's probably. What do you think we had in that, babe? 10 bags?
Oh, it all depends on how much crap you got in the middle of the rock.
Yeah, 10 or 12 bag project.
So what do? You just kind of slop it on there and just take
anybody,
some trowels or something?
Well, I would say this. I've been working people's yards for 30 years. And I've had my hands on masonry cement all 30 of those years, and I still suck at it. So the fact that Ashley and I have been together 6 years and she's already better at it than me, carving the rock look, kind of pisses me off a little bit, but she's better at it than I am. So I'm just a mixed guy, and I get the rock to the shape where she thinks it kind of
work for you.
Yeah, and then she starts carving. But there is an artistic little flair to it. To get the cracks and, you know, the shaping, and I guess you do have to literally kind of see a rock in your mind and then go from there. You know,
so you got rocks in your head, it's no problem.
Yeah, it's not a problem. We don't have anything out here in any of the pens, but I do want to do, you know, we can do a fake concrete stump the same principle, and turn it into a nest box. It would be more durable, you know, over time, instead of using rotten half logs and hollow logs and stuff like that.
But then
there's a lot of
I
applications.
think in the concrete business, we're going to use the wrong term, they do like a slump test on it.
Yeah,
they put
absolutely.
So it doesn't drip down, so you kind of got to have it really stiff to start off on any of these projects like that. So what do you got, like 45 minutes working time on this one or less?
On that total thing?
No, I'm talking about like per rock.
Yeah, that was, we did that in like 3 days, didn't we?
No, I'm talking about like, you dump the concrete out, how long do you have to work?
Got you. How before it hardens out? Yeah. What do you think? It depends on the weather.
Yeah.
You know, if we're out here working and it's 90 degrees outside in the summer,
you got an hour less.
You've got 30 minutes, an hour. But if this time of year, you could have 3 hours.
You do any wetting of the concrete that you don't want, or just try to hurry up and get it done?
Yeah, hurry up and get it done.
After it starts to get hard, you go back and then you do some of the carving and the stamping.
So you got stamps for that too?
Yeah.
For that?
Yeah. Texturing type stamps.
Can we take a look at them a bit?
Yeah, you know where they are. All right, she'll have to dig them out.
So this these ponds here, when you're doing this edge around these ponds.
Yep.
Are you what are you using for the form around this pond? Just like plywood that you've cut, or is
I use Luan.
Luan, yeah, because it's nice and flexible.
Yeah, rip it down.
I was actually looking at, they have some. It's in Lowe's. It's like a border. It's like a metal. It's bendable. You stake it in, and you can like.
If you can buy the whiteboard that everybody trims their houses out with.
Like FRP or something like that?
Yeah, you can buy that. It's expensive,
Yeah.
but it's going to be.
You can use it again and again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Over and over. You can use it over and over again.
So,
Exact.
do you get a transit out here, or do you just level it with a 6-foot level?
Yeah,
or
no,
4-foot?
I have a laser level. You shoot the sides with a laser. The one thing I will say, on the eastern shore, on Maryland, we're fairly flat. But I picked this particular spot when I built these pens because we do have some elevation. So when we run fresh water into the top pond,
It just trickles
and then
down.
they're all linked together. So then it just goes out into a ditch in the back.
So how deep are these ponds here?
They're shallow. Most of all of them are shallow at one end and deeper in the far end.
So, I
But
mean, that's got
nothing-
like a nice slope, so you
Yeah.
can stand on the
Yep.
edge and stuff. So you don't have to put your tree ducts inside in the winter or anything?
No.
Everything just stays out, you got open water pretty much all winter long?
Yeah. When it gets starting in January to teens and 20s, we start running fresh water, around the clock.
Right.
So the ponds stay open.
But you don't need to pull anything and put it inside ever?
No. The greenhouse material on the back, kind of gives a wind block.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do have, on that end and on this end, we do have some greenhouse material on the top that stays there year round.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a bird that wants to get out of the weather, per se, we don't have a lot of snow on the shore. But if the ponds are open, even if you got snow on the ground,
Unless, the thing is like up in New York, we've actually got frost in the ground already. You can't put a shovel in the ground already. So what happens is, even if you have running waters, it's not a guarantee. If the birds are standing on the edge, they'll still freeze and feed up there if you're not careful. But one of the things I never did, and I wish I had done, was to put like a shallow area in the ponds and just gone deeper. And that's probably never going to happen because I'm set in the way I build ponds now. So
I understand that.
we actually we mass produce ponds. What we do when we do something that's we build at least a half a dozen or more every time we do it. So we just frame them up, rectangular shape, square, whatever, just go over the long line. So where's your overflow on like this pond?
It's behind this piece of driftwood. There's a section of the pond there that's lower than the rim, and then it just overflows out the back.
Oh, just actually.
Yeah.
So you don't have drains in this?
Yeah, I have a drain in it.
Oh, so is the drain separate?
Yeah, the drain's separate.
So you got to reach down there, or you got a valve or something?
Pipe, Yankee pipe.
Oh, it's an overflow of pipes. Right. Yeah. And how big of a drain?
These all 20 years ago, I thought 3-inch was big enough, and don't ever use 3-inch.
for a couple of reasons. If you have 3-inch, you get ducks down the drain.
Yeah.
If you got a 3-inch, they also plug up the reason.
Well, no, we've got one planned in the future. I'll probably put 6 on.
6 is better, but you got to reduce it down.
Oh,
in the pond
yeah.
To like a 2-inch.
Yeah, you just put the reducer there, and then come
Yeah,
down to an inch and a half or
yeah.
2. But no, the stuff we built in the last couple of years, we've got 4-inch, and I don't have the clogs like we do with the 3.
Because you're not running that much of a
Well,
run.
you get leaf debris in here and stuff, and
So we actually have down south, we have 4 inches of main trunk coming off it, and I got power augers, the power snakes to clean out the drains. I got this. My favorite tool is I've taken drain caps and I've drilled holes in them and I put the air compressor fittings on them and I put them on my clean outs. I just put 80 pounds of pressure on it and try to blow it out, but I'm making it sound like it's really easy, and it's not. It's a laborious. Sometimes I'm 15, 20 hours trying to get a plug out. And the thing is, I've got the original line is 1,400 feet, the original drain, but I'm actually only using like 600, 700 feet of it. But that's a lot of drain.
Yeah.
So when you get something stuck in there, it's a pain. So I use 4-inch on that. I wish I had gone 6-inch on that. But up north, anything that I've used 4-inch on, I don't have any issues. I still have some old 3-inch drains that are an absolute nightmare up north. You use the
2 by 6, 1 by 2 inch mesh all the way around. It's expensive, but I just don't believe in net for anything. I'm too busy with work to keep up with an electric fence charger. If that goes down on the eastern shore of Maryland, the raccoons here are like Navy SEALs. I mean, they hang out together and
they walk around your pens and look for holes, and
Yep.
the minute there's a hole, they're up in there. Yeah, these I like that. I don't know how well it would hold up in New York. With snow,
If we get heavy wet snow here, it will sit up there. You know, like it'll hang on the wire and then eventually build up. But a big snowfall for us is 3 or 4 inches, 5 inches.
Yeah, I mean, we can get some significant snow. I mean, we don't usually, but you know, we can get storms that dump almost 3 foot of snow, and some of our worst storms are in November. You know, when the lake, we don't typically catch lake effect from Ontario, but when we do, you know, we will get it, and it'll be heavy snow. We get that in the November a lot of times, and then in March. You know, those are like the prime times for heavy snowfalls.